Hello. Ah. Ohayo gozaimasu. I am in Osaka. It has been about 10 days so far, so I thought I'd check in with a proper update after having landed, after having gotten settled and just processed, and am currently still processing a lot of just my past, just my past. uh, I think the last time I talked, I'll show you. So I made my natural soda. I think it's ready. Yep, it's really bubbly. It's giving like bubbles. It's giving bubbles. I added the ginger bug to the apple juice, the organic apple juice. I tried a little bit yesterday and it was like a little fizzy and still very sweet. So I wanted to let it ferment for like another day or two, just so the sugar can, what is that word? Convert? And then I'm gonna put it in the fridge and drink it this week before I make another batch, but this time with roasted green tea and honey and maybe some lemon after, if it doesn't affect the bug. I don't want the acidity to affect the bug, but look at my outfit, it's great. I got these pants from Busan. I wish I got another pair, and I wish I, just advocated for myself and just tried to get that deal, because I did invest some some coin in this person's, this seamstress's work, art, practice. I just think that at that time, and even now, just like processing advocation in the form of communication, like really just like asking questions, investigating, being curious about other options whenever it's about like making decisions quickly. In the face of like another person, I definitely have like patterns of accommodating others, even at the expense of myself, whether that's, something seemingly as small as like my budget for buying things or something, or like my body, and just the things that I have engaged with that have been detrimental for my body, my spirit, my mind, things like this. So I definitely like was processing a lot of that as I landed here. I'll give you a house tour because it's absolutely beautiful. I think I came to Osaka like to be in this house. It's a really large house. I'm thankful it's, within my monthly budget for rent, which is between $1,000 and $2,000 a month, or less than that really. But I mean, the last time I paid less than that was when I was living with my parents. I think at the time I was paying like $300 a month in like rent support, just supporting the house, supporting things. There were times where that was hard, just like as I was making the transition from like, working more consistently within childcare to like transitioning and working more consistently in like what is that? Healing facilitation and performance. And prior to that, I was living in a shared house. It was a house with a backyard and like a shed that we was converted into like a healing space. Like that was all magical, and I was paying $750 a month there. That's the lowest rent that I ever paid, I'm pretty sure. I think maybe I paid $742 when I lived in Pittsburgh, and that was in a shared room. But I'm open. Ultimately, my goal is to, have land with a house on it that my mortgage is like that much or whatever. Or less than that, where my mortgage is less than what I've paid or what I even currently pay in rent, so I can continue just giving back to the land, investing my time, my energy into healing, growing things, growing trees that, my children will grow up with, that I will grow with. Putting healing into the land, offerings, giving blood, sweat, tears to the land. I say that to say, like, this house was really abundant in space. That's the biggest thing that I just like noticed. Seoul, I loved my apartment in Seoul. But yeah, I feel just aware of my space and how much space I take up, especially with sound specifically. So when I'm playing my music or when I'm like dancing, jumping up and down, like it's just I notice how I shrink in those spaces and how that affects my body, how that affects my spirit, how much anxiety I have. And that also plays into or ties into some of the experiences that, have riddled my life around boundaries, around communication, around communicating in real time during not only conflict, but also just like advocating for my wants, or in the moment, if I don't know what I want, like saying that and figuring it out with myself or with the other person present or not, removing myself from environments to figure out what I want before engaging with like the person who even posed the decision making process. Because I have found I'm just like, okay, well, let's just do what you want. And yeah, I've been unpacking it with a therapist, which I'm thankful for. And ultimately, like, my last day of therapy was the day that I got into this house, and my therapist is like moving to another location. So yeah, that was our last day, and I think I was just like, I'm still processing it. I really enjoyed our time together. I wish we spent more time, but I know that the time that we did spend was just so potent, so powerful. She did really name a lot of things for me, and gave me vocabulary to give myself a lot of grace around decisions that I make, or how I engage with the world and how the world engages with me, and just naming things that are not okay, or naming things that, I can be more gentle with myself about. I feel like I should just have a different separate video about therapy and about my relationship with therapy. I've had, my beginnings of therapy within the church, and that came with, its own kind of trauma is such a dramatic word, um, and not as specific as I want it to be. Um, but so I feel like to get to the specificity of like my first therapeutic like experience, I would have to like really name that I felt robbed from like getting to the bottom of healing, and more so was putting up a lot of energetic blocks around the sin that was imposed on my sexuality, which I didn't agree with, and didn't agree with from the time that I was like 8. I remember quite young separating from Christian ideology. So I felt like any healing that I could have gotten from that experience, which I feel like I didn't at all, was robbed from me because of the protection that I had to have, which was really just like numbing myself, stealing myself, and shutting down. I really did like shut down during that time. And this was an experience that, you know, just like really shifted my relationship with like government, health, mental health resources, like therapy. So I really am thankful for that experience that I had with that person. I only met with one other therapist before her, and that person was cool, but yeah, we really did some work, and I'm really thankful for the direction that I was kind of shifted or aligned to with the resources that I have after meeting with her. So I got here and immediately just went into like monk mode. I think living alone, living in a house with more space allowed me to unfurl a little bit more, that allowed me to dance, allowed me to jump, allowed me to meditate, play my bowl more comfortably, make a little bit more noise. The kitchen is a lot bigger than the kitchens that I've been in the past couple of months, actually. And then the bathtub is amazing. I'm gonna give y'all a tour of this house. It's really, really been beneficial for my health, for my healing, as just a lot of things are going on. But I got on here because I wanted to share specifically like my just initial takes on Japan and Osaka before I drink this coffee and eat some onigiri before I go to my massage appointment. That's in walking distance from here. I'm in Ikuno Ward. It's south of Dotonbori. It's south of Osaka Castle. I haven't taken the subway yet. Y'all know how I feel about the subway and just being out in public. I've been processing a lot about that. The new moon eclipse was like 2 days ago, and I was just like really processing just how much people's opinions of me affect me. And it's not necessarily their opinions, it's their actions towards me based on their opinions. And all of the people who are like, oh, don't let it get to you. Oh, like, you know, don't worry about those people. All of those people who say that, like, I've never had this conversation with somebody who said that and also experienced what I experience on a daily basis anytime I leave the house. And that's people laughing in my face, groups of boys or men, little children as young as 6 years old, pointing and laughing to their friends, pointing and laughing to their siblings, showing signs of disgust on their face. People who not only are just stunned in my presence, which I welcome. Okay, be stunned, be well in it. But the disgust, the grimace, is on the latter, the more gentle and or non-invasive and or non-threatening end of the spectrum of negativity that I experience on a daily basis. I would say laughing is more chaotic neutral because I'm just like, okay, I guess I really don't know what's funny, but some people laugh when they're, distressed. Some people laugh when they're, uncomfortable or people laugh for a plethora of different reasons. So I'm like, okay, do your thing. So the grimace is on like one end of the spectrum, and then it's like the people who are actively like catcalling me, who will follow me, and who will call slurs, yell slurs at me. Yeah. And or literally call me an abomination. I've been called that multiple times in multiple countries, unfortunately. In LA, in Oral de Ajuda, like, and this person who like saw this like Brazilian person who like heard this man literally like call me an abomination was like, ele é ruim. And I was like, yeah, he is. But yeah, I was just processing like how that really affects me and how that really affects like the attention that I do crave and desire, and how that informs how I interact with the world, how I've interacted with the world in the past, especially in times where I just want to be held, or I want comfort, or I just want, the validation of like, having value within society, having value within my existence, of being seen. And the ways that I've, really received that have been like through sexual means, as well as others for sure. But I'm currently in the process of like shifting those things. I don't want to talk for too long, but I do want to share some things that stood out to me in Japan. No one's followed me here. Like, people have laughed, people have pointed, people have grimaced, but I'm just building up the resistance to it. And unfortunately, it has been, a process that has been normalized since I was quite young. At least, this started at least like 7 or 8 years ago. It's like people actively like vocalizing disgust towards me when I'm out in public. That has not happened here. I'm thankful. The one thing that I'm like really interested in is, or curious about, and have been just like really excited to participate in, is masking, wearing masks, and just COVID consciousness, or just airborne illness consciousness, like, just like levels of protection, protecting immune system, immunocompromised people, elderly people. Japan is actually more active than South Korea was. And I don't know why I thought South Korea was just gonna be more conscious. But like, one thing I saw that I was like, whoa, I've never seen that, was like mask advertisement, like models wearing masks. and not just for like the mask. Like I think they were advertising some makeup or like face something something, but they were wearing masks, and that was really beautiful to see. People wear masks outside. I've seen many people wearing masks alone in their cars. It's uh, uh to me, like I wouldn't do that in my car alone. Um or like on my bike, on my Vespa. Like I wouldn't ride a Vespa, but like, yeah, alone in my car in like a controlled space, I would take off my mask. And then outside, I tend to, um, yeah, just be maskless, especially if I'm like not around a lot of people. But there are a lot of indoor outdoor markets, and it's like a mix of people who wear masks inside that space or not. It's open air, like there's airflow, there's like I'll record some and show you, but it's like an open air market where like the top is covered, but the walkway has like different kind of pathways that go through it that are like completely open, that sometimes cars go through or bikes go through. But for the most part, it seems very well ventilated or well circulated. I've been wearing my mask more in those spaces. I would wear my mask when I was going into like a shop in that space. Like there's like different shops that you can go into, but on like the walkway. Sometimes I wear my mask, sometimes I don't. But like I would say this past week, I've been wearing my mask more in that space, like maybe like 90%, um, which has been great. I love just like the social masking support. I enjoy masks for a plethora of reasons. I enjoy masks for the anonymity, as well as, yeah, like the physical blocking of like my face, or yeah, different, just like my face. When I like the mask sunglass combo is my combo. I love it. I love um hiding myself a little bit more because of the just vast amounts of energy that I generate by being out in public. Masks help me like keep that energy to myself a little bit and like shield my energy and people's energy towards me a little bit more. Um so masking has been great. The amount of people that bike here is really beautiful. The amount of elderly people that bike here as well just like gives me a lot of hope for just like the future. I really do feel like, and this was, I feel very present in South Korea as well. It's like the focus on elders, the prioritization of like elders within society is something that is not present in the States. Even just in how we've responded to COVID, and or like towards the end of life, end of life kind of like process, practice, care, caregiving, retirement, working. I've seen lots of elders working. I saw that in South Korea as well, like people that I was like, oh, I wish you didn't have to work, like, just like older people. But I don't know, maybe they don't have to work, maybe they want to work, and that's just something that they want to do. I don't know, I did not ask them. But I do see, even just in like holding space for making space for um people in society that just like navigate space in different ways to be present, like the, like both in South Korea and here, I've seen like the kind of rails in front of the urinal to support people who, you know, like need extra support, need something to hold on to. I have never seen that in the States ever. And that was just beautiful to like witness for the first time and see it, like, I'm pretty sure in every public bathroom I've been in. Yeah, the amount of people that I see in scooters, in motorized wheelchairs, is really, yeah, beautiful. Seeing just people on the street, like buying things, like enjoying the day, like, going about their business, you know. I think that, that's something that I would love to see more of, in the States, and that just requires a change in the infrastructure that, yeah, I feel like would be beneficial for literally everyone involved, um, to just be aware of the differences in society that do exist together, but also that can exist together and should, by making space, making room, like prioritizing, decentering, dominant culture, decentering, um, able-bodied people, recentering children, elderly. Like it's just a different culture that I feel like would benefit us a lot more, instead of this like hierarchy that is just so disgusting and vile. This world really does question my faith in humanity. On that note, I think I'll end here because I should get ready to go. I don't know if you have any questions for me. I'm gonna do another one. I'm gonna do a house tour. And just continue like sharing my process, sharing my experiences in Osaka, telling more stories and just rambling beautifully. I hope you have a good day, night, evening, morning, midday, wherever you are, whenever you are. And I'll talk soon. Bye.